costumes and visual is really important because it portrays what the directors want. It's the first thing you see when you go to a play or to any type of performance. I think for me, for the costumes and makeup component, I think it's fun to look at all the costumes and really the beautiful pieces of clothing that you don't necessarily get to see every day, especially getting to figure out what types of clothing is appropriate for that time. And I personally like clothing from earlier just because it's just more elaborate, I would say. So just getting to touch and see all that come together, it's really, I don't know, it's really rewarding.
I think classical is important to culture night because it is one of the dances that almost got lost during the genocide. And I think through individual dancers and artists, the art form has been revived. I think it's important for us as students, though we don't have much formal practice, it's better for us to try to learn it as much as we can rather than let the art form die off.
I think I really enjoy how slow it is and how every step you make is really planned out and methodical.
Though it takes time for people to finally get the movements and how slow it is, but once they get it and we pair it up with music, I think it's really good, and I'm really proud of all my dancers.
They learned it in one go, two goes. They learned it in 2 goes.
So this year's trad dance, it's an adaptation of the Filipino tinikling dance. So it's moving the sticks and jumping through them. Trad is meant to represent the different types of cultures in Cambodia. There's a lot of different theories about where it came from. It's meant to represent either some kind of birds jumping through grass, or there's also a theory that it's a form of punishment. Seeing it all come together, it's rewarding too in a lot of ways, because in the beginning it seems oh, where are we going? But then in the end it's oh wow, we got here. And it's just fun to see everyone have fun doing it too.
The tribal dance serves to highlight and call to attention the people who live in the northeastern highlands and have different ways of life than the people who live in the cities. Like anywhere, Cambodia also has ethnic minorities, and because we're already a minority here in the US, it even more glosses over the fact that we have other minority and indigenous groups that don't get honored very often.
So the specific tribe that we're focusing on is a tribe called Mondulkiri. During the 1970s, this was one of the places that got hit really hard with the Khmer Rouge. I think for me, the biggest fulfillment is just teaching other people about our dance and them learning more about tribal, even though it's not a very common or popular dance in Cambodia, we're teaching other people about it.
Track again or without track? We'll give it a go. So I chose the song Buku by Dengue Fever. They're a band that was originally formed in Long Beach, I think in the early 2000s. Cambodian culture is so rich and vast, and I think it's amazing that in Culture Night we're able to represent all these different aspects of a singular, united culture. It's incredibly fulfilling to be able to see the results of that work. And all the members of my group, Kimberly, Brayden, and Caitlin, just blossom into these amazing musicians and singers. They were already amazing musicians and singers, but it's amazing to watch them sort of connect with the song more and more as the weeks go by and really get involved in the meaning of the song and how it relates to the play.
What I really enjoy about teaching martial arts is that it kind of really teaches people to use their bodies in ways they didn't know how to use before. You know, and some of these members who joined Boca Tour this year, they never learned martial arts before. So, you know, them being able to learn like the mechanics and techniques, you know, and as well like how it's an art, you know, and seeing them really enjoy and understand how it works is really fulfilling for me to see. I feel martial arts is a very essential part of culture, especially with Southeast Asia. It's almost like a way of life. You know, in other countries, stuff like Bukatau, Pradet City, and like Muay Thai, it's also like a sport and part of their heritage too. And it's a way that people express themselves, you know, albeit through like violence, but it's still like how we learn to express our bodies in forms of combat. So I think it's important to at least keep that part of your heritage with you.
One of the things I find most fulfilling about coordinating for modern is being able to help my dancers indulge in something outside of their comfort zone and help them find a persona that they otherwise wouldn't take up in daily life. I think that it's really important for them to recognize that dance is based on their feelings, their emotions, and their experiences. And being able to provide them this chance to express themselves through a new medium, I think is really important. I feel that modern is really important to Culture Night, especially because urban dance is now really prominent and diverse in today's society. Each of the coordinators that we have for modern crafts their own unique lens to best depict one aspect they wanted to pick out from the storyline. From slow movements to represent the complexity of the character's emotions, to high, fast energy beats to represent her fast growth.
Everybody that I've met so far has been like very passionate, very engaged, very into learning our choreography, and seeing everybody pick it up and get like really excited to perform it is very fulfilling.
I like that there's like a traditional part of the UKS Culture Night, but then I like that they integrate modern, so it's like more traditional dances have evolved to like modern and more like urban dance styles.
There's like a very big representation of Asian American people, and that includes Cambodians, obviously, and I think that because of that it's really important because a lot of this urban dance stemmed from Culture Nights, and also people just think it's fun, so.
So The Golden Voice is the title of our Culture Night production this year. And it's essentially a biopic of Ros Sereysothea, who is a classical Cambodian rock icon. In depicting this play, we include a lot of music from other icons of the time like Ben Ron and Sin Sisamut, and it's kind of like a celebration of their artistry and the whole genre. And in detailing their stories, we also chose to recognize the way in which a lot of this intellectual artistry of the decade ended with the Khmer Rouge. With this culture, there's also a culture of silence that has often been perpetuated, and part of Culture Night means like giving a space for people to talk about these issues, and we chose to bring these issues to light because it's important for us to talk about.
There are no words to describe like how thankful we are, how grateful we are, how proud we are of just like all the growth that everybody in CAS has gone through. Because we've seen them come from start as like little like fledglings, you know, like not really getting into like for our drama, not really getting into their role, or people who are not normally comfortable dancing, starting or like trying out new dances, and chords who might have felt like they weren't capable of being chords, but then like excelling at like what they do. Really, there are like just no words to explain. We're just really thankful.
1, 2, 3, Golden Voice!
you.